Hi everybody, welcome back to the Desmal Works channel, and today is going to be a short little update video because, as you can see by all the beautifully bubbly wrapped stuff, we've got everything back from the powder coaters, minus the clutch case cover, because he's just doing a little bit of extra work for me on that. So I'm going to give you first look at everything that's in here. I've seen two of the bits. So I saw one of the heads and one of the luggage racks while we were there, but I haven't opened everything else, so we get a chance to have a look at it in some detail together and see the quality of the workmanship and what else that I'll be doing from now until we start putting everything together. So let's get into this. Okay, first off is the headlamp buckets. So as you can see, it's come up really nice. You can just see a little bit of bubbling where there's pitting from the aluminium corrosion that you'll remember that we had on these when I took them apart, but I think you'll agree that's come up really nice. Now this is not a Ducati colour, this is Audi grey, and just because I preferred the look of it, it's a slight fraction darker than the Ducati colour. So again, you can just see some of the slight pitting that was left from the aluminium corrosion, but I think you'll agree that that is light years better than what we had when we took it off the bike. He's done a good job of all the threads have been protected. I will be running down these with a tap just to make sure that they're clean, because we don't want to screw everything up now we've got that. So that's the first piece. Luggage rails. And you'll remember how corroded these were. So these have come up like new. Being steel, there's no signs of the corrosion. If you remember, we had quite a lot of corrosion around this part. All of the paint had come off. I mean, that's come up fantastic. That's a satin black. So the only piece that, obviously, as you remember, I'm going to have to manually do these pieces in satin black because we didn't know how to get these end caps off without damaging them. So I've got to do that by hand. It's a shame because that's come up really nice. I think you'll agree that they'll look really good on the bike. Being powder coated as well, really good level of protection in there. Okay, next piece, clutch cover, generator cover. It's like Christmas all over again. Okay, so we're going to have to just scrape that little bit off because that's supposed to be a non-coated area, but that's come up really good. And what he's done is he's actually powder coated the very end of the hose fitting, because he knew that once the hose goes on, that bit would still be exposed. So let's clean that up, because obviously this was rusted. Everything's been vapor blasted. So the one piece I will mention, I left all the bearings in, so I'm going to be replacing all of the bearings. And the reason I left the bearings in is because I didn't want the seats of the bearing faces being vapor blasted at all, so I didn't want to risk any damage to machined faces. But again, that's Audi grey. So there's a little bit of pitting where we had the surface corrosion, and you'll remember how bad this case was, particularly on the front there. And again, that's come up really, really nice. So this Audi grey, this is 2 coats, because you can get away with it. But I think you'll agree, it's a good job there. Apart from we've just got to scrape the face off there. I'll just use a Stanley knife to do that with. Okay, so this is the side for the left hand side of the bike, so is where all of the relays and everything go on, and again that's come up really nice. I mean, that looks like a brand new component. Again, the threads have been protected, so it should be relatively easy to put that together. So this is the vertical head, which again, I left the valves of him so that it could just protect. But that's a single coat of powder coat. I think you'll agree, again it's come up, well, I'd say better than factory. Really nice finish. Again, new bearings needed, so I'll be popping those out. I know the numbers for those. No issues with this side, except I need a new bearing. That's solid. But again, really nice side cover. Just take these valves out now. Put them away. Mirror mounts, so again they've come up really nice. Really nice finish on that sort of metallic grey. Horizontal head, so this is the one that had the really bad corrosion. Just pop the valves out. And again, the quality of the finish is fantastic. Really done nicely. Combustion area's all been cleaned up. In the fins, really good coverage of paint. Barrel. Again, really nicely done. You sort of see where had some quite heavy aluminium corrosion, but the paint has covered that quite nicely. Again, looks really good. Nicely masked off, so none of the metal to metal areas have got any issues. Second cylinder. Again, it's come up really well. You wouldn't think it was the same engine really. Really nice finish. All of the metal surfaces masked correctly. Threads look all clean. They're helicoils in these. Okay, the big bits. If you remember, the cases were really heavily corroded. So if you remember, this was completely bare casting. It's come up really nice. Some pitting from where the aluminium corrosion was so bad, but again, can't argue with that. Again, I left all the bearings in, so I'll be fitting all new bearings. But yeah, again, it's come up really nice, really nice. And he's cleaned all inside the cases for me as well. Now, just from a comfort point of view, he explained to me the process that he's used, in that it's all vapor blasted. It's all been vapor blasted, but it was also ultrasonically cleaned before and after to ensure that it got rid of any of the sort of debris that's left over behind. And then, you know, the bearings, which are all locked in because of rust at the moment, I'll be popping those out and putting all new ones in anyway. But I mean, that looks phenomenal. It looks like factory finish. Or better than factory finish, I should say, because you don't tend to get it that good. It didn't mask that bit off, so I'm just gonna have to scrape off the bit of paint there. That's not the end of the world. Might take the paint off where the swing arm goes in, because that is a measured face as well, so there's slight issue in that that's been painted. It shouldn't have been painted, but that's not the end of the world. Easy enough to do. I'll also take the paint off where the stands mount again, because it shouldn't really have been painted, but not bad, not bad. Last case. Okay, again, front of the engine where the heaviest corrosion was, it's looking really nice. Around here was quite heavily corroded and has come up really good. Again, you're going to need to take the paint off of there. Paint off where the, well, that's not so important, where the brake master cylinder goes, because it's not a critical fit. Oh, he's left a bit of hose in there from the threaded bit. Need to just pop that out. Again, bearings need to come out, so not fussed about anything there. I need to clean those faces again, because they're oil seating faces. Not bad. Last big piece was the frame, so I'm not going to fully unwrap this at the moment. What I'll do is give you a sneak peek. So it's done in the same Audi grey as the headlamp bucket, so that'd be a nice match, and that's come up really nice as well. Right, one downside is the VIN number has been completely covered. That is a bit of a worry. Okay, because I don't know whether to check that that's still in place, which would mean taking some of the powder coat off, which would be a bit of a downside. Okay, that's come up really nice, but obviously the VIN number's completely covered over, which is a bit disappointing. Okay. Okay, so not having the visible VIN number is a bit of an issue, and certainly out of all the powder coaters I've used before, this is the first time that I've ever had this issue where it's not been masked or left exposed in some way. So I think on that basis, yeah, I'm 80% happy with all of the work done on the engine and the cases and the buckets, but the frame's a bit of a letdown, and that's before I've looked at the rest of it. I mean, the finish looks, as I said, fantastic, but I'm gonna have to, so I've just reached out to the powder coater at the moment just to work out what's the best way to expose that number without damaging the rest of this finish. So what I'm hoping is that I can mask it off and use a little bit of paint stripper and just get it back so I can see the VIN number, and then I'll gently rub down that area and then give it a clear lacquer coat, and hopefully that resolve it. I'm a little bit disappointed because I shouldn't have to be doing this after paying good money. So on that basis, I'm not going to recommend this guy at the moment, so I'm just going to hold back on saying who it was that's done the work until I'm comfortable that I could put my name to recommending them to somebody else. So yeah, we live and learn, so I'll just progress on with the work at the moment, and we'll get the bike back together. Okay, so that's the powder coating of the pieces done, which has come up, I'd say about 80%. So I'm a little bit disappointed that the VIN number's been covered over. There's a few odds and sods that weren't masked that I'm going to have to clean up as well. But the quality of the finish is second to none. You know, the thickness looks really great. The loss of erosion and corrosion on the cases, if you remember, which were really bad, is fantastic. So I'm really happy with that, and I really like the colours. So going with a slightly darker Audi grey, BZ on my point. So what I'll be doing over the next couple of days is just ordering up some of the bearings that I don't have. So I don't do a lot of the 2 valve heads, so I don't have any of their bearings in stock. So I'm just going to pop those out, see if I can get some alternates. I've got all the part numbers. I've already checked the prices and everything like that, so I can get the official ones. I just want to see if I can get the SKF bearings direct, because usually it's slightly cheaper. Belts have turned up for the rebuild, plus new bearings for the mobile tensioners and the fixed tensioners, so we're good on that front. So that was a quick little video just to show what it's like with the powder coating on everything, which we're good to proceed with. What I'll be doing in the next video is hopefully starting to put the cases bottom end together. So we will get new bearings in, we will put the gearbox in, the crank and com rods, do all of our clearance checks, so make sure we've got the correct preload on the crank, make sure we've got the correct end flow on both the transmission shafts, and bottom end will be done. Then we need to do the heads, so that'll be a full little mini refurb. So we'll lap the valves in, we'll then set the valve clearances, and then jobs are good. And one of the little jobs I've got left to do, I still need to do the head covers, because we've got a bolt that's stuck in there, so I've just got to drill that out and tap that, and then clean these up and paint these as well. So because I know the colour, I'll just do it in Audi grey straight from Halfords. So that's it for now. That's a quick little update video just to let you know where we're at. So all I've got to do is get the bearings and we can start putting the bike back together. And then it's a case of just identifying the odd little nuts and bolts that broke during the strip down. So hopefully I've got spares and be able to do it, but I might have the odd bolt that I need to do. And I'm just talking to a painter at the moment to get the fairings and everything painted and ready to go. So, and then hopefully we'll be ready to get the bike MOT'd and out on the road. I'm hoping within the next month or so, if we get a good run at this. Okay, if you enjoyed that little overview of the powder coated works, give us a like down below. Any questions or comments, then feel free to ask them. And if you're not subscribed, I'd really welcome you to the channel, so hit that subscribe button and the notification bell for the further content. Thanks for watching. See you later. Cheers and bye.